The South African National Defence Force has confirmed that the remainder of the wounded soldiers from the DRC have returned home. 14 South African soldiers were killed during a fierce battle between the Congolese army and the M23 rebels in January. Let's discuss this further now and get the latest from Rear Admiral Prince Tshabalala. Good evening to you and thank you so much for your time. Let's just talk about firstly the wounded soldiers who've been brought back home. How are they doing?
Bongi, good evening to SABC viewers. The soldiers, some are still being attended. The four are critically, who were critically wounded, are being attended in a high care facility at One Tree Hospital. And then we have other ones that are moderate, but they are being treated. I believe today we had 7 discharged of those who were moderate. And then we have another large group who are approximately 106. Those are receiving psychosocial support in our facility as well.
And before we get to the latter part of your statement, you said about 106. Are you able to give us the total number of those who are wounded and had to return home?
Yes, the total is 127.
Oh, so it's 127. It's quite a stark contrast to the 189 that has been reported.
Well, it is not us that said that. It's other sources that the media use. But we from our side as SANDF, we never reported that figure. Yes.
So it's 127 in total.
That, we have 4 who are critically injured, and then we had some of those who are wounded but in a moderate conditions, and then those who just had minor injuries, but they are being attended as well by our specialists, and they are receiving psychosocial support so that they be able to integrate with their families.
And when you talk about the psychosocial support, you know, one would think, for example, that it's just about treating those who are injured and all of that. But let's speak about how critical that aspect is of psychosocial support, given where they've come from and possibly what they would have experienced.
Yeah, look, it is, you know, they've experienced trauma. They are coming from a conflict situation. And obviously, there will be some elements of PTSD. And in all those combined, they would have obviously mental challenges. So that's why we felt that it is important that all our soldiers should reintegrate back to society, back to their families, and back to the SANDF community in this fashion. It's actually a standard procedure for us. We don't just normally get you from the conflict and then just put you back into society. You have to go through these administrative and medical procedures so that we are able to integrate smoothly back into the SANDF military system as well as to your family.
And there've been, of course, I'm sure you've seen criticism leveled against the SANDF for what, for example, the South African Defence Union calls the silence, you know, on the developments that are taking place in the Eastern DRC, saying that this is also impacting the trust in the public and also, of course, given the sensitivity of this particular operation. How do you respond to this criticism?
Look, we are unable to respond to many allegations from the union because we are receiving report from our side, from our own force commander and those who have given a responsibility to command the force. And they are giving us accurate report, and so we don't want to be entangled in mud slanging with the unions and debating issues that are unfounded. So hence we have resolved that we will speak when it is necessary, when it's in the interest of the nation to develop, because there's many issues that we are dealing with. And we cannot afford to be entangled into rumors, rumor mongering issues. We cannot really afford that.
So Rear Admiral, I know you say you can't go into mudslinging, and I'm not asking you to go there. I'm going to ask you about this, though, because it's something they said to us yesterday, and we felt it's important to also get to hear what the SANDF has to say. And this is around them saying that, you know, you talking about the fact that you're getting reports and you say the force commanders are giving you accurate information. They also say that they've got members on the ground who are telling them that they are basically trapped. There's a hostage situation that's currently going on, and they cannot have freedom of movement. Yeah.
Look, we haven't denied those reports publicly. We haven't really deliberated on them, but suffice to say that we really cannot come across as people who don't have facts and the correct facts. So we are relying more on who is mandated to speak, and on those bases, we felt that it is important to have accuracy on the information, because they may argue that they have their own members on the ground, but there's been a lot of contradicting stories as well that have emanated as alleged by them. So we felt that it is important that we verify all our sources where they come from. It is very, very important because, for example, one of the reporters reported that we had 200 wounded, which was not really correct. And so as a National Defense Force, we have to tell the nation and the truth all the time in terms of verifying all our sources. So at the same time, we are not categorically saying that we are not going to report to the nation in terms of the status of how we are doing. We are all dependent on the SADC mission and the negotiators that have been mandated to negotiate the ceasefire, and as well as to negotiate the process of having a lasting peace in DRC. That would enable our soldiers to come back should the decision be taken by the commander-in-chief and those who are mandated to make those decisions. It's not for us as a military to call for those decisions, because a lot of people must understand, as soldiers, we are following command and orders. Therefore, if such decisions from the political level haven't been taken, we are not at liberty then to make a lot of calls as a military.
So what do you say? Because I'm sure tonight there would be family members of those who are still in the Eastern DRC. There are South Africans who are, you know, concerned about what they are seeing being reported. Yes, you speak about the fact that facts need to be verified, but what do you say to them who are worried about the situation in the Eastern DRC?
We are saying to the families of those who are still remaining behind to say we are the National Defense Force with its partners and international partners are very concerned about the situation in DRC, and we are doing our utmost best to ensure that the lives of our soldiers are preserved and they are able to either fulfill their mandate or come back home once those decisions are taken. It is a very challenging situation that we are finding ourselves because we came there to restore peace, to help the people of DRC. And now that the city has fallen under the rebel command, we are also negotiating directly through our being assisted by the United Nations. As we know that there's been summits that have been caused to ensure that there's a peaceful resolution to all the conflict areas. And as soldiers, we are pleading with the family and we are saying that we are together in this, and we are acting in the interest of a soldier. We all share the same vision of bringing our soldier back home.
So you talk about the fact that right now there's a challenging situation that is unfolding, given the fact that rebels are now, as you say, have taken control, and you're negotiating directly. How difficult are these negotiations?
they are quite sensitive and difficult, and we are relying more on the summit resolutions. As you know, that both the SADC and the Eastern Community summits made a resolution that the chiefs of defense forces of all the countries, both state actors and non-state actors, must come to a solution, a lasting solution. So we are praying that those resolutions will be effected and implemented on the ground, so that our soldiers can come back and the new mandate is ushered through those summits to say what we have to do in order to have a lasting peace in the DRC.